So today, Joshua, thank you for being here. We wanted to talk with you about your musical work that you've done. I know you were a music major, is that right?
Yeah, I attended Denver School of the Arts, and I was an instrumental music major, so I play violin.
Okay,
And I attended there during my schooling, so 6th through 12th grade is the time I spent there.
I see. So, did you also pursue the music endeavor during college, or you didn't?
So it's been for pleasure after that.
Okay, so it's
Um,
been just
yeah,
something you did on your own.
I was a
Yeah,
philosophy major in college,
philosophy
so
major in college.
yeah.
So, how many years altogether have you played the violin?
I started playing when I was 4 years old.
Okay,
And to put that in context, I was born in 1984.
okay,
So it's been the better part of my life.
okay. What places have you played in? How was your training? Did you take classical classes, or just talk about the training basically, and then maybe some of the work you did with your music?
Sure. Well, when I first started playing, when I was very small,
Mm-hmm.
my parents tried to find a teacher for me, and Denise Carter, who, God rest her soul, has passed away just recently,
Yeah,
um, got me started with that. I learned using something called the Suzuki method. It's a Japanese learning style,
I see.
and the idea is that you learn by ear.
I see.
So before you learn to read music, you learn to listen and repeat.
I see.
And so those are the kinds of things that I started out with as a small child.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, they start to introduce the idea of learning to read sheet music.
Right.
Um, but it's all very untraditional. So it
I
uses
see.
it uses color correlation and tactile things and those kinds of things to help you correlate what you hear to what you see. And so that was kind of my unique training in the beginning. I then, when I got to about the age for 6th grade, I auditioned and was accepted to Denver School of the Arts.
I see.
Um, and there I was part of the orchestra.
Okay.
Um, and so that kind of brought me into the classical realm of things.
Okay.
And so we did a lot there. It was much more intensive sheet reading music wise than I was used to. So it was a little bit of a sink or swim kind of
Kind
situation.
of method. Yeah.
Um, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that I was in high school, um, and to put things into a little bit of context, I started going to Denver School of the Arts right just 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 a couple of years after they opened.
Okay. Okay.
So they didn't have their own facility yet.
Mm-hmm.
We were sharing buildings with Cole Middle School and Manual High School
I see.
in
I see.
Denver.
In Denver. Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of a strange dynamic there.
Yeah.
A lot of these art students mixed in with the inner city kind of, vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not always friendly.
I see.
But we still got a lot out of it, and we did a lot of good, really, really neat things. Well, by the time I got to high school, the school had purchased the Byers building on Alameda and Broadway.
I see.
That was a historical landmark that had been abandoned for a while.
I see.
We purchased that building, did a little bit of renovation, enough to make it habitable,
Yeah.
and we moved in there, and so we finally had our own space.
I see.
And it was a little bit of a celebration at that point because
Yeah.
it was we had our own place to do things and our own place to grow. And from there, I had the privilege of finishing out high school there. And while I was there, we did a bunch of traveling. We did some recording. We created a couple of CDs.
Oh, wow.
That was, I mean, and now a lot of people don't even know what a CD is.
Yeah.
But we created a couple of CDs that were fun. We recorded the Requiem, which was a challenge. It's a very long piece.
Right.
And getting a bunch of high school and middle school students to sit through 3.5 hours recording is like herding cats. But we eventually got it done.
Well, good for you. That's great.
And it was a lot of fun. And because of that recording, we were invited to come perform it live at the Basilica of Notre Dame in Montreal.
Wow. You mean your entire school was?
Yeah.
Wow.
So our orchestra then traveled out there. It was the full orchestra in addition to the choir. And so we all went out to Montreal. And this was pre 9/11. So at that time you didn't even need a passport
I see.
to go to Canada.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just a really long field trip.
Yeah.
But we took a bus up there, and that was an incredible experience. I remember actually playing our instruments on the bus while we were traveling was a fun experience. And then when we got up there, I had no idea what to expect. I had never been anywhere like that before, and it was definitely a little bit of culture shock.
Yeah.
And as most people know, in Canada they're bilingual, so it's French and
English. Yeah.
And in most cases, French is most folks' first
In
language.
Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah. And so nobody really prepared us for that. But it was a really, really good experience. And when we got into the church, it was breathtaking.
Yeah.
I grew up Catholic, so I've been in a lot of pretty churches, but I've never been anywhere quite like this.
Wow.
It's probably the length of about 2 football fields. It's a very, very large church. And when you play classical music, there are a lot of times in a lot of these big grandiose pieces where there are some really long pauses. And when you rest like that, especially when you're recording in a studio, it feels unnecessary and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's not until you get into a space like that was built for sound. I mean, this church was built at a time in history before any kind of amplification or electrified anything.
Wow.
So it was built to facilitate those big, large sounds. And when you play a note and have a rest of a great length in there, it becomes very apparent why the music was written that way.
I see. Wow, fascinating.
You play a note and it rings on for 30, 40 seconds.
Wow.
And just continues to ring. And so it gave me a brand new appreciation for composition and
Sure.
The spaces in which you perform those compositions. Because you can perform the same piece of music in one room and then it could be completely different in another.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I really fully appreciated that until I was in a space like that.
Well, and, we'll cover that a bit more here in a little bit, but in your musical journey, were you just mainly playing with groups like that and performing like for theater pieces, things like that? What did you do?
So that was my school work life.
Yeah.
Was classical. At home,
Uh-huh.
separately from that, at the same time, I was also pretty vested in playing Texas-style fiddle music.
I see.
So Texas swing,
Yeah.
which is a completely different ball of wax.
Yeah.
And everybody that I've ever talked to about fiddle music asks me the same question. They say, "Is there a difference between a violin and a fiddle? Fundamentally or physically?" And the answer is no.
Okay.
They're both violins.
Yeah.
They both operate the same way. The only difference is the style in which you play the instrument.
I see.
So a lot of the traditional classical rules don't apply.
How is music? I suspect you're still playing on your own and so on. By the way, what form has that taken now? Do you perform at clubs or anything like that, or is it just mainly for yourself?
It's mostly for myself at this point.
Okay.
I like to experiment with electric violin.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 6-string electric violin.
Oh, wow.
That has a higher end note and a lower end note that you don't normally have on a violin.
Mm-hmm.
So it is in some aspects a viola because it has that lower end, but the higher end note kind of is what separates it from other things.
Well, it sounds like you're a very well-versed musician, seasoned in what you do. So that really is just fantastic to listen to. And but I guess the question I have for you, since you were in technology as a career at the current time, how does music help you with your day-to-day things these days? Do you use it to kind of meditate, or how does it come in handy, I guess, for you these days?
Well, it definitely helps me here working at the library, particularly in the studio.
Right.
When people come to me and ask for time in here, one of the questions we ask them is, "What do you hope to accomplish?"
Yeah.
And I feel like I have the background and the context
Right.
to be able to interpret that request in a way that I can meet their need.
Yeah.
So when they say, I want to sing a song with a backtrack and I want it to have this feel, I have somewhere to start. Whereas, I've worked with and met a lot of people in the technical field that operate this kind of equipment that don't have any musical background.
I see.
And you can know the equipment inside and out, but you can't make that connection with the person.
Right, exactly.
So I feel like that's where it really benefits me the most these days.
Do you also mentor and teach lessons, or no?
So I have in the past.
I see.
I've done private lessons in the past. That's not something that I'm doing right now because this job occupies a vast
great amount of your time. Yeah.
However, I'm not opposed to helping people learn if they need to.
Okay.
I have a 5-year-old nephew who is very interested in playing the violin, and so for him, I will make an exception.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So a little bit more about Canada, because that's been kind of interesting to me that at that age and at that time you went to Quebec especially. Some of the takeaways from Quebec and some of the places you saw, what you got out of it?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was as a teenager, it was I think a very important life experience. The food, the people, the spaces, the church, the basilica in particular is what impressed me. We were privileged enough to be allowed into the back half of the cathedral, which is traditionally not allowed for for normal people. And the reason for that is the back half of the cathedral is gilded, so the entire thing is plated with gold.
Oh, I see.
The seats, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, every statue, everything is all gilded in gold.
Wow.
It is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And so we got to practice in there before we went out. And then when we came out and actually performed the Requiem in the front half of the church, it was the first time we'd actually played in that space.
I see.
Was when we performed it, which was a little intimidating. Normally, you as a musician, you get a chance to, have a dress rehearsal of some kind in that space, but we didn't really get to do that. So it was emotionally overwhelming.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've ever listened to the Requiem before.
I sure have.
But the very, very beginning of it begins with 2 notes and then a very long rest. And in this case, the way that the piece is written, the way it shows on sheet music, basically says, play these notes and then wait for them to dissipate. And once they've dissipated, then continue.
Yeah.
Well, when you're doing that in a studio or in a normal environment, that's maybe 5-10 seconds. We played those 2 notes in the basilica, and we sat there for almost a full minute.
Wow.
And it gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, you bet.
It was a very spiritual experience. It was. I didn't think it was going to be. I wasn't anticipating that. But it was very moving.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the only other thing that I could relate that to in my life is witnessing the birth of my siblings. That just overwhelming emotion of happiness and joy, and
yeah.
And was the first time I've experienced that with my life outside of family. So it was something that marked me, I think. It shaped who I am to a certain extent. And so, music for me is more than just entertainment.
Yeah, you bet.
Music for me is definitely, you mentioned meditative,
aspect of it,
It's
yeah.
definitely a spiritual thing for me.
Well, it just sounds like such a fascinating experience you had at that age, and what you got to see. And some other takeaways before we wrap up from Canada. I mean, what was...
which is kind of silly, is watching The Simpsons in French.
Oh, wow.
In our hotel room.
Yeah.
I also remember going to a restaurant, and there was one night they took us out to have a nice, fancy meal. And I asked for a soda, and I thought it was strange that they didn't ask me what kind.
Okay.
And then when they brought it to me, of course, it was soda water.
Oh, okay. So,
and of course, I'm being a teenager, I had no idea. So I take a big drink of this, and it's soda water.
yeah.
So it was a cultural enlightenment.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have much more appreciation now for our neighbors.
Yeah, you bet.
So
was Montreal mostly where you were?
Yeah, Montreal was where we were. I love their underground subway system.
Oh, okay.
It's really neat. The whole city is built on a hill. And so pretty much anything that you see above ground, there's a matching below ground entrance.
I see.
And because it's so cold there for most of the year, You can be in an apartment building,
Mm-hmm.
go down the elevator all the way to the subway,
Mm-hmm.
get out into the subway, travel wherever you're going, go to your office building that you work at, get in the elevator, go up, and never have gone outside.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So they've got it down pat. Even McDonald's has an up and a below. So while you're down in the subway, there are fast food outlets and stores and everything you need below ground. It was fascinating.
Of course, just from images I've seen, plenty of beautiful scenery, like, the city itself and maybe the nature around it, right?
Oh yeah, it is a gorgeous city. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Well, young people listening out there, I guess traveling is a good thing. It opens up your mind, and learning music is not a bad idea. So you want to just comment on that before we wrap up?
Yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to travel and play music. And if you can do both at the same time, you won't regret it.
Which you got to do, so that's great. Well, Joshua Valdez, thank you. You're a gem in our community, and this really was quite the nice, experience just to listen to this experience that you had, with both music and travel. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. You have yourself a good one.
I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.